Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 5. I am super excited today because I've got a special guest, and I just want to make sure that everything is working here. Today, my board, you're not going to be able to read it very well because I need to let my special guest in. So things are going to have to be this way today. But I'm just going to get on straight with it because it's an important message today. Today, we're going to be talking about it's time to stop, listen to your inner dialogue and find out who you really are. And before we go into it, I'm just going to do a super quick recap. Day one, we talk about, getting rid of that wall, recognizing and acknowledging the wall that we have put in front of our hearts and really processing that and getting rid of that because that is stopping us to get into our inner power. This wall is literally in front of our heart, and our inner power is behind that. Day two, we talk about, cultivating and embracing activities that make us feel good, so we get into a kind of a different vibration and not so much cultivating the blaming, the complaining, and the negative emotions that we are so used to practicing in our kind of day-to-day life. Day three, we talk about actually, I am still trying to think about what we talked about. Oh my God, we've covered so many things. And I should have prepared to do a recap. But okay, so let's just pick up from today. I know that, yesterday I was reading a little bit of your comments this morning. Really, really powerful, the transformations that people are experiencing. Yesterday was about, how, the first thought that we wake up with. I think that's a game changer, really controlling and taking ownership of that first thought, which is very much in line with, like feeling good from the minute that you wake up. It's supposed to allowing and letting our minds already go into that automatic pilot that cultivates the blaming and the complaining and everything else. Day three, I remember now, it's what's stopping you, right? What's stopping you from really connecting to your inner power, which very much links with day one, which we talked about was in front of your heart, which it could be, a situation, an emotion. But when you talk about what's stopping you, it could still be a lot of you mentioned, the fear, the fear of, we talked about the fear of failure, the fear of, what others are going to think about us, the fear of, looking silly if, you're wanting to start a business or wanting to put yourself out there. The fear stops people massively, the doubt, the fear, the what ifs. So today, I feel like we are going on a high here. We started removing that wall and starting to feel good, really recognizing the things that are stopping us so we can get closer and closer to our inner power. Yesterday, starting our day, in a different way. And today we're going to be talking about a tool that I have shared in all the challenges. And it's a very, very powerful tool. I read a book that is called The Alter Ego, and it's a coach. He started coaching people, mostly athletes, but these days he coaches a lot of people in the business world as well. His name is Todd Herman, and he needed a tool that would pull the person out of feeling doubt and not sure about just before they needed to perform, just before they needed to get on a court and play tennis, or getting to playing a tennis, a basketball or whatever. He needed a tool to help that CEO that was about to get into a board meeting and needed to deliver something really challenging to his team. So he needed something that was going to work quickly. And this is really powerful because, we often, go through, you can call it mood swings or energy swings or whatever you want to call, and we need tools that will get us out of that, negative, like almost like if there is a little black cloud on top of our heads. And I think this is a very, very powerful tool that we can all use, throughout the day at any time that you need. And he talks about an alter ego because he believes that once you feel, and you embody this alter ego, and you could think about, I don't know, somebody, I ask a question, or tell me somebody that you really admire, in the world today, and somebody mentioned Oprah. I mean, she is incredible. She comes from really, really a very, very challenging childhood, so much hardship, and look at what she's doing today, the person who she is, how many people she's helping today, right? And I think it's, somebody like that you can think about, like embodying, some of her characteristics. So you become, more like, not just like her, but like the characteristics that will take you to becoming the best version of yourself. So the alter ego will help you to embody what perhaps you haven't got yet, within yourself, but it will help you. It's almost like you're borrowing somebody else's confidence. You're borrowing somebody else's characteristics. And this is very much what Todd Herman talks in his book about. But this particular tool is something that he needed, or that he uses with his clients, just to be this absolutely massive quick fix just before they needed to perform. And the thing is, like, we think that, athletes, people that are, massive, successful, leading some amazing lives, they never have doubt. They don't have this inner dialogue. But the truth is, we all have that nasty voice inside of us. We all have that inner dialogue. And the difference is, when I wrote this first, I said, it's time to stop listening to your inner voice and find out who you are. The thing is, inner voice, we all have an inner voice, and I really believe that our inner voice comes from a place of love. But the inner dialogue, it does not come from a place of love. The inner dialogue is this little voice that tells you that you're not smart enough, that tells you that your work colleague is better than you, that tells you that you're not going to be able to pull this project off, that tells you that you're impatient with your kids and you're not a good mother, good father, that tells you that you're never going to lose the weight, that tells you that you're not going to heal yourself, that tells you, you're being a bad person. Just basically telling a load of lies day in, day out. And we engage with this inner voice, thinking that this inner voice, it's telling us the truth. And it's incredible how much power this inner voice has, this inner dialogue has over us. So, this tool is very much an answer to that inner dialogue, an answer to that, as soon as that inner dialogue starts, pulling you to this place of, being under this black cloud and feeling, I'm fearful, I'm worried, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about that. As soon as you start engaging in this pointless conversation that can spiral down in a negative cycle, that it really doesn't come from a place of truth. This voice is holding you back. As soon as you see yourself going down that path, that's when you go stop. And that's when Todd Herman talks about this tool that he has developed, like for people to pull themselves out of that situation quickly. And, and he talks about this as a tool that is called a Response Proclamation. And he asks the athlete or the person, the client who's working for, to write it down, their response proclamation for this inner dialogue. And, I normally and I often talk about my response proclamation, but I thought today I would invite Joe Moran, who has participated of my last challenge, and he wrote his response proclamation, on the group. And when I read it, it gave me goosebumps. I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. Like, this is so powerful. And I could feel myself feeling powerful by just reading it. And I felt like, oh my God, this is incredible. And I really want him to share with you because, sometimes, when it comes from me, you might think like, oh, I know, but Angelica, you're already doing all of those things. You already healed yourself. But everybody has a story, and everybody can write a very powerful response proclamation. And Joe is going to share with us. I'm just going to try to get him on here, and I'll see if. I'll say hi everyone to everyone. Sorry about this, everyone.
Hi, we're sorry, we're not technically savvy.
So, Joe, tell us a little bit about your response proclamation that you did, that you wrote in the last challenge. Oh,
Well, you basically wanted me to write a response proclamation. And in the past, I've taken different kind of seminars and things like that. Sometimes they give you homework to do. And I've learned that whenever they do that, the homework, you do it, and you're the one that's benefiting from it. So I was really intrigued by that particular homework assignment. So I got into it. And after the baby went to sleep, I spent a good 20, 30 minutes thinking about it. And I just put all my thoughts into the computer, and then I posted it that day. And that's basically what I did. I was really just following it because I knew I would get some benefit from it, not knowing what the benefit was.
so read it for us, your response proclamation. So, yeah, I really want you to do that. So the idea is that you ask yourself, when that voice tells you, you're not worthy, you're not enough, you're not a good mom, you're not a good dad, you're not never going to be as good as your co-worker, you're never going to be able to start your business, you're never going to be able to lose the weight or whatever it is. You have an answer to that voice. And the answer to that voice is, do you want to know who am I? And when you keep asking that question. So go on, Joe, I'll let you go.
Okay, it's a little long. You asked for it.
Go for it.
Okay, so yeah, basically it's that inner voice we all have. And in my case, a lot of times people told me what I was supposed to. People told me these things. And so through the years, I believed it. And so I need to kind of make peace with it. So keep that in mind when I'm reading this. But here it is. Okay, so my response proclamation, who am I? And it says, I am the fulfillment of my parents' dreams, the child of poor immigrants who came to the United States of America from Guatemala in the 1970s, looking for a better life for themselves and for their children. And I found it for me and for them. I am the kid who grew up in one of the worst neighborhoods in the city of Los Angeles, and by the grace of God, found a road out of poverty and into a better and more prosperous life. I am the kid who was told I wouldn't amount to much, and I would end up flipping burgers when I left school, only to end up as the proprietor of a 3-chain clothing store in the city of LA. I am the kid who was told I would be dead or in prison by the age of 25, as the statistics in my former poverty-ridden neighborhood dictated, only to break that negative mold and now awaiting my 50th birthday and still hoping and dreaming for that better life. I am the kid who was told I cannot take a journalism class in high school because I was not smart enough, only to end up getting straight A's in my journalism classes in college, being accepted to intern with the LA Times, and being a published author since 1990. I'm the kid who was chosen to represent my high school graduating class as a speaker because of my abilities as a speaker at that young age, even though the school didn't personally support me. But they wanted to showcase their students' achievements, so they used me. I'm the kid who was told I wouldn't graduate high school because my counselor hated me due to my Hispanic heritage and was trying to sabotage me. And I basically went over her head to break her schemes and graduated as a class speaker and on schedule. I am the kid who has been at the service of some of the best known names in the movies and politics for the last 30 years, convincing me that I am good enough to help individuals with their image development challenges. I am the kid who was raised in a high control religious group that controlled every aspect of my personal and spiritual freedom, but I managed to break free with my spirituality and sanity still intact. I am the kid who started my first business at the age of 16, only to lose it all, but learning along the way never to give up. I am the kid who has always had a thirst for knowing and learning and experiencing the better life, but at the tender age of 49, I'm still believing that the best life is still possible. I am the kid who, by the grace of God, became a homeowner after having experienced home loss twice in my younger life and being told I would never recover economically. I am the kid who has traveled through Latin America, the United States, Asia, even though I was told I would never leave my city. I'm the kid who experienced brief homelessness in my 20s, but was able to be blessed with a stable home life. I am the kid who was featured in a business magazine in my 20s for being a young leader in action, despite being told I was not cut for leadership. I am the kid who has been honored and awarded countless prizes and awards for my sales abilities while working in the corporate world, despite being told I would fail as a salesperson. I love and I am blessed to be loved by my friends and family, and have had the blessing of being born and raised in the United States of America, truly the land of opportunity if you fight for your dreams and never give up. I am the kid who came into this world swinging punches at various obstacles, and by the grace of God have overcome much. Today, 2 years into this global pandemic and nearing the age of 50, I am no longer a kid. I am a man who has lost his 3 retail stores and currently runs what's left of his decimated clothing store from a 10 by 20 office with no employees. My savings have been ravaged, my business has been destroyed, my mental health has been challenged, my physical health has been dealt some blows. I am not ashamed to admit I have sought the help of medical and mental health professionals in my efforts to regain my balance, but unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic, things got a bit worse, requiring me to take bolder action. Though much of my achievements can be considered lost by some, I see it all as a temporary setback. I have a wealth of experience, wisdom, and knowledge to share with anyone who's willing to be coachable. I have many dreams that have yet to be accomplished. I ponder big ideas yet if God allows me this opportunity. But nothing of what I hope to achieve from this point forward can be done if I first don't heal myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and economically. I feel blessed to have stumbled into Angelica's group to be inspired to achieve the needed changes. I know that despite the negativity around us, the good life can still be had. I haven't been punching my way through life for almost 50 years to just sit back and give up now. I resolve to work with Angelica or anyone that's willing to share their wisdom in order to find the breakthrough I need. Nearing the age of 50, I feel as if there is plenty of time, and I take comfort in stories such as Colonel Sanders, who started his KFC chain at the young age of 60-something after many business failures. I am convinced wholeheartedly that we can only lose if we give up. As long as we continue in the fight, there is always hope. I would encourage anyone who joined this group to continue the good fight, regardless of what fight you are currently in. Know that God has a purpose for us all. He loves us, and He will assist us if we continue in the fight. Nothing will be achieved by allowing anxiety, depression, or fear to conquer our fighting spirit. Consider yourself a winner even before you take the victory lap, because this positive visualization is part of the journey of winners. We are here because we are winners, and as such, we will overcome and heal ourselves with God's help. May God bless all of us in our struggles. May God bless you going forward. Thank you, Angelica, for an excellent and wisdom-filled 5-day challenge, and I will see you at the next one. There we go. You wanted it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. I felt so empowered when I read this at home. I was like, "Oh my God." And I think at that time you did that, and we hadn't, I mean, obviously now we are working together, but we hadn't even started working together. And I just wanted you to tell people, how did you feel after writing this?
I felt liberated. I felt like a big stone had been lifted off my shoulders, and I just threw it off, and I'm free now. And the reason is because I came to the realization that a lot of those things that people had told me in the past, a lot of the experiences I had in the past, somehow they lived in my head, and in my subconscious mind, they still kept me down. And I believed that, oh, I'm going to fail, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough. And I've tried many things, and I've fallen on my face many times, but I keep getting up. And the one thing I didn't realize, though, is how many times I've gotten up. And
Yeah.
when I put it in writing and I read it, I really felt blessed. And that whole day afterwards, I felt like I was walking on air. I felt liberated, I felt blessed, and I realized the value of that particular homework. It's pretty powerful.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what would you say to somebody, that, is that, listening to this right now and thinking like, oh, what is this going to do for me? Like, what is this really going to help me to move forward?
You know, one of the things I mentioned there is that I was in a very religious home when I was growing up, and I'm not a very religious person today, but I still have a lot of respect for the Bible. And something that reminds me is the Bible has a scripture that says all scripture is inspired of God. And I used to believe that that was limited to the 66 books of the Bible, but I've come to understand that it's more than that. God inspires you anytime you sit down and write. There's power, there's magic, there's just an absolute radiance when you take the time to write something down. So I would tell anyone listening, just do it. What do you have to lose? If you don't do anything, nothing's going to change. But if you do the homework, you are going to be the greatest beneficiary of whatever you're writing down. And in the process, if you post it, and like I did, I didn't expect you to interview me, of course. I probably would have not done it then. No, I'm just kidding. No, but if you post it, it's like you say, you're getting into the arena. We have to be gladiators of positivity. And if you get into that arena, in the process, you may benefit someone else. And I believe that's good karma that'll come your way too. You're paying it forward. So either way, you win. But the greatest beneficiary is going to be you. So just do the homework because, like I said earlier, I mentioned it to you, I've been in different seminars where you pay top dollar, they make you do these homeworks, and I do them, and I've learned it's beneficial. So this one was free, and I did it, and I got so much benefit from it. Just don't even think about it. Just take the time, put your thoughts in order, and post it. We all want to see it.
Awesome. That's so beautiful, Joe. It's like you said, writing has one power, posting has another power. Every step of the way, comes with its own benefit. And like you said, it's free. What do you have to lose? And if you don't come in the arena, nothing's going to change. And, I've afterwards when we spoke about it and you said, Angelica, I felt free, I felt like I was walking in the clouds like the whole day. It was so beautiful, to hear how impactful that was for you. And I know that, because when I wrote mine, it felt the same. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize I had done all of this, like you forget. It's so easy to forget and go back to that automatic pilot of thinking, oh my God, life's too hard. And, like I've been so hard done by and staying in that place. And this puts you in a completely different place.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
I think a lot of people, especially young people nowadays, they have that victim mentality. And I am not a victim. I've been through a lot of crap in my life, but I am not a victim. And I refuse for anyone to consider me a victim or try to make me a victim. I think people in the past have tried to make me a victim, but I'm not. I won't let them. Because when you're a victim, you're powerless and you're relying on someone else to fix your problem. But when you stop being a victim and you just take ownership and you take your power back, that inner power that we all have. When you do that, you're no longer waiting on anyone. You're going to wait on yourself and you're going to take that action. And I think this challenge, that's the main point, that we have to basically listen to. Well, stop listening to the negative inner voice, especially if it's negative. If it's positive, you should listen. But if it's negative, stop listening and then take action, with your personal power. And once you do that, you'll start seeing some major changes in your life.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe, for being here. I'm going to move my laptop away now. Sorry about the technical. I really appreciate you. Have a blessed day, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Bye-bye.
Take care. So, guys, that was amazing. If you don't think that was incredible, I am so proud of Joe. I'm so proud of him throwing himself in the arena, all the benefits and everything that he shared with us. The benefit one is to to writing down. There is one benefit in kind of letting this energy to come through your body and getting out. We talked about day one, and all the time that you keep this stuck energy in your heart, you don't allow the flow of energy to go through your body. And this is harmful for our minds and our physical bodies. This is how it creates sickness. Once you start allowing these emotions and honoring and this energy to come in and out, you start becoming and feeling free. And also, another powerful part of the exercise was posting it. He posted out there. He didn't think, this was like a month ago. He didn't think that he was going to be here today sharing this with everybody, but I remember reading, and we were not even working together at the time. I didn't know anything about his story. I was like, oh my God, holy moly, he's done so much, he has accomplished so much. This is absolutely incredible. And here he is now sharing with you, what he's done, in a powerful way, like, because he should feel very proud of what he has done in his life, what he has achieved, And, when you put yourself out there, like you said, you are helping others, and this is karma that comes back to you. And, and the benefit of just walking around without that, whole, carrying that brick, that stone, that, the weight on your shoulders, that I feel that there is so many people living like that, So, I am going to, talk about my response proclamation here, and very quickly, because, I think that, I'd like you to stay with the energy of Joe's response proclamation. And in actual fact, I might not even do this, because I feel that his response proclamation was a very good example, a powerful example of really staying in your power. And when that voice tells you, you're not good enough, you're not going to amount to anything, who do you think you are? You're too old, you're too young, you're too this, you're too that. That's when you answer, who am I? Like, this is who I am. This is what I have done. And you just. And when you have this written down, or a day that you feel down or depressed, or that you need to get yourself up and thinking differently, it's the day that you pick up this paper and you read it. So, the power keeps going and moving. If you just have this in your head, you can't go back to it. So I think somebody wrote down yesterday, a beautiful statement that they want to wake up in the morning and thinking about it. And it was a little paragraph. And I said, you might miss, one sentence and another sentence. Write it down, have next to your bed, and read it as soon as you wake up. Because sometimes we forget, and you don't want to forget. It's too powerful for you to forget. It's too powerful for you to not keep reminding yourself what you have done. And so you can keep connecting to that energy of your own power. So guys, the homework is to write a response proclamation, is to post it, is to stay in this energy, like, as I said, we came from, being down here to, let's get rid of this wall that we have in front of our house. Let's start, cultivating the feeling good. Let's start embracing different thoughts, in the morning, and different feelings, and what is the things that we can do to put us in a different state of mind and physical feeling. Now this is your opportunity to have something set in stone that that you can go back to when you're feeling down, when you're feeling, that you're not up to the challenge, that you're, waking up and thinking, oh my God, here we go again. Just read that response proclamation. I'm pretty confident that all of you have gone through some things in life that, you overcame. Life is never going to stop throwing things at us. That's how we grow. I would always say last year was one of the hardest years of my life, and that was after cancer. People think like, oh my God, like, I've done my share bit of, hardship in this life. We are not the deciders of that. Life is always going to throw things at us. The only part that we decide is how we react to it. Like, all the time that we keep staying in that place of like, I can't go through another thing. Oh my God, life is too hard. Look at what's happening in Ukraine now, like, nobody would think, that would be possible, of the insanity of what's happening right now in the world, with all this evolution that we have gone through, clearly not. So, we are not the deciders of what is going to happen or what can happen to us. Just focus on what you can focus every day, how you can react to it, how you can change your own state of being and mind and body and soul. That is the only thing you can focus on. And this is a tangible tool that you can have on a paper, and you can read to yourself when you need that. So guys, it's